Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a total game changer, looking at the 5 things I stopped doing to finally lose menopause belly fat fast. When we first dug into Nurse Julie's story, it was absolutely incredible to see how she completely cracked the code on her own stubborn midsection. You know, as a nurse dealing with an autoimmune disease, she had this light bulb moment where she realized that punishing calorie restrictions and just grinding away at the gym simply weren't working anymore. Instead, she discovered that losing this very specific type of fat is entirely about managing stress and hormones, not just counting calories. She figured out 5 quiet, everyday things she needed to stop doing to finally get results, and today, we're going to break every single one of them down for you. Okay, let's just dive right into this. I want you to actually physically press on your belly for a second. Go ahead, just check. Does it feel firm or is it soft? Because if it feels firm to the touch, you are highly likely dealing with something called visceral fat. And here's the secret that literally almost no one tells you. That specific kind of firm belly fat answers directly to your stress hormones. It absolutely does not just answer to how little you eat.
You know that feeling when you've sat in a doctor's office and been told that all your labs are perfectly normal, but you leave feeling utterly awful and just totally stuck? Well, this is incredibly validating. See, soft fat sits right under the skin, but that firm fat, that's visceral fat, because it reacts to stress hormones. Cutting your calories even harder or working out to the absolute point of exhaustion can actually keep this firm fat glued to your midsection. You're effectively stressing your body out more, basically telling it to hold on to that protective layer for dear life.
So there's this absolutely crucial reframe we all need to understand here. Belly fat in menopause isn't proof that you've failed at dieting or that you somehow lack willpower. Often, it's literally just your body holding on because it feels fundamentally unsafe. The entire goal of our explainer today is to show you exactly how subtracting these quiet, hidden saboteurs makes your body feel safe enough to finally just let that fat go. All right, let's get into the list. Thing number 1, artificial sweeteners. So, we've all been completely conditioned to think that grabbing a diet soda, pouring that sugar-free creamer in your morning coffee, or grabbing a sucralose protein bar are these harmless, zero-calorie fixes. But as Nurse Julie discovered while navigating her own autoimmune disease, the research shows a wildly different story. These fake sugars can quietly disrupt the specific gut bacteria that actually run your metabolism and your hormones. On top of that, giving your brain that intense sweet taste without any actual sugar behind it just keeps your sweet tooth wide awake. Your cravings never actually settle down. And for a lot of women, that fake sweet taste still nudges an insulin response. A spike in insulin is literally the absolute last thing you want when you're trying to lose belly fat in menopause. But hey, the fix here is wonderfully simple. You just swap out the fake stuff for natural alternatives. Trade the diet soda for water infused with real fruit or maybe a squeeze of lemon. Swap the sugar-free treats for a square of high-quality dark chocolate. By making this one simple subtraction, Nurse Julie found that her cravings completely quieted down within a couple of weeks, and it just naturally changed how she ate for the rest of the day.
Moving right along. Now, what's really interesting about this next one? Thing number 2, the estrogen drainage problem. When we talk about menopause, we constantly hear about estrogen dropping, right? But what completely gets ignored is how the body clears out the old estrogen that it's already done using. And this brings us to an absolutely fascinating community of gut bacteria called the estrobolome. This community is totally dedicated to helping escort used estrogen out of your body. Clearing out those old hormones is a massive job, and it runs heavily through 2 main organs, your liver and your gut. So here is the mechanical breakdown of what's actually happening. Step 1, your active estrogen drops in menopause, but the old, used estrogen is still hanging around. Step 2, your liver and gut are tasked with processing it out. But here is step 3, and this is the kicker. If your gut is sluggish or inflamed, that old estrogen doesn't leave. Instead, a backed-up gut recycles it right back into your bloodstream. And recycled, backed-up estrogen absolutely loves to settle as belly fat. It's a drainage problem, not a calorie problem. How crazy is that?
So, how do we fix a drainage problem? Well, you have to support the exits. Instead of starving yourself, you add in things that actually help sweep the system clean. Drinking plenty of water and making sure you have daily bathroom regularity is totally non-negotiable, because that is how the estrogen actually leaves your body. Eating more fiber and loading up on cruciferous vegetables like your broccoli and cabbage directly helps your liver do all of its heavy lifting. All right, on to thing number 3, hidden chemicals.
So a backed up liver and gut becomes so much worse when we add a daily chemical load to the pile. By the way, Nurse Julie actually has a completely free autoimmune relief workbook linked in her materials that goes even deeper into tackling these root causes, which is just a fantastic resource. But for now, we need to talk about obesogens. This is the scientific term for endocrine disruptors that basically scramble your hormone signals. They act exactly like fake estrogen in your body. Because your liver is already working overtime trying to clear out your real, natural estrogen, it has no clue what to do with these synthetic chemicals. So it does what the body always does with things it can't process. It safely stores them away in your fat cells, specifically right there in your belly fat.
And you guys, these obesogens are hiding in the most incredibly ordinary everyday things. Heated plastic containers are a huge culprit. If you're microwaving your food in plastic, you are absolutely getting a dose of these chemicals. They're also hidden behind the word fragrance on the ingredient lists of candles and laundry soaps. They're literally even in the shiny coating on the paper receipts they hand you at the grocery store. It is wild how quickly your daily toxic load can add up.
But please, do not panic, because the trade-offs are super straightforward. You just stop adding to the chemical load. Switch out those plastic containers for glass, especially for absolutely anything you heat up. Drop the artificial fragrances entirely. Like if a label just says fragrance, put it right back on the shelf. And finally, consider your water. Nurse Julie specifically uses an AquaTrue filter to clean her water all the way down to the microbial and viral levels.
Let's move on and see how this builds. Thing number 4, nighttime blue light.
We all love to wind down at the end of a long day by scrolling on our iPhones or, catching up on our MacBooks while laying in bed. It feels relaxing, but it is quietly wrecking your metabolism. See, your body uses light as information. The bright blue light from your screens creates this really damaging cascade. First, it delays your melatonin production. Without melatonin, your deep sleep suffers. When deep sleep suffers, your overnight cortisol, which is your main stress hormone, stays elevated. And because your cortisol stayed high all night long, your body handles blood sugar significantly worse the very next day. It leaves you feeling completely wired but tired, aggressively pushing your body to hold on to belly fat.
The behavioral shift here is to literally treat the sunset as a biological signal. When the sun goes down, dim the lights in your house. Put the screens away before bed. And on the flip side, get bright, natural sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning to reset that clock. This is so absolutely vital because deep sleep is the exact time when a massive amount of belly fat quietly leaves the body.
So, the crucial point we've been building up to. Thing number 5, the fight or flight trap.
Listen, you can fix your gut, you can toss your plastics, and you can dim your lights. But you will stay entirely stuck if you ignore this one overarching rule. You have to stop living your entire life in the fight or flight trap. Running on 5 hours of sleep at most. Skipping meals because you're just too busy. Always saying yes to everyone else's requests. Consistently putting your own needs dead last. Your body's nervous system literally cannot tell the difference between a real tiger chasing you and a modern life lived at full speed on an empty tank.
And when we put it all together, the picture becomes incredibly clear. Fake sugars, a backed-up gut, heavy chemical loads, broken sleep, and running yourself ragged. Every single one of these is a profound stress signal. They are collectively screaming at your body to stay on high alert, stay on guard, and hoard that quick fuel visceral belly fat just in case disaster strikes.
Nurse Julie noted this so beautifully. The day I started protecting myself with real boundaries, my body finally got the message that it was safe. True safety for your biology doesn't come from a magic pill, guys. It comes from setting firm boundaries at work and at home, learning the absolute power of the word no, and actually allowing yourself the grace of real rest and nourishing, real food. Supplements and strict diets are fine tools, sure, but the real magic is subtraction over restriction. It was stopping the immense stress that the body simply couldn't keep up with anymore. Because menopause asks for a fundamentally different approach. What you easily got away with at 30 just does not fly over 50. The beauty of this is that you get to write new rules that actually serve you and protect your peace in this new season of life. So I want to leave you with a question to really reflect on today. Which of these 5 hidden stressors hits home the most for you? Was it the jittery mornings with fake sugars, the chemical loads hiding in your home, the broken sleep, or that relentless fight-or-flight lifestyle? Just remember, your body isn't broken, it is just deeply burdened. If you subtract the burden, what could your body finally achieve? Start subtracting, take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next explainer.